Hello to Facebook, we're live. Let's get going straight away, jump in. So, thank you to everyone for showing up. Whether you're live or catching a replay, we appreciate you all. Quite simply, without you, there is no show. Today, I'm joined by a good friend of mine who was working as a manager in a laboratory for the NHS. Science was her background, and it just didn't light her up. However, she was brave enough to begin her own business, which involves making handmade jewellery and attuning it with Reiki healing energy. She now ships these pieces around the world and has never looked back since. This is her third time on the show, and she always gives so much value. In this session, she's going to be taking your challenges, tuning into them live, and then suggesting a suitable crystal just for you. How cool is that? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Angela Richardson of empoweredcrystals.com. Hello, Angela. How are you doing, mate?
Oh, great to be here.
Yeah, we've got Janie Louise. She's saying hi, Danny and Angie. Hello, Janie. So
Hello.
nice of you to pop on. We appreciate you. And we've got a couple of yours. I'm sure more people will jump on as we get going, and keep those questions and comments coming. Hide current comment. So, Angela, I just want to ask you before we get into the questions, when did your love of crystal start?
It was I literally when I was early teenager, probably actually before, because when I was we used to have holidays in Wales and there's lots of quartz on the ground, so I used to pick it up. And then I got really into crystals as a teenager. And then that just grew. And I always believed in the power of crystals. And then it really grew when I realized how you could increase the power of crystals with Reiki. And it just, instead of sort of being really subtle, the energies, it's like, oh, you really get, you put something on, you think, oh, that's really, changed the way I felt. It's quite amazing, just from a subtle energy that you can sort of barely feel, but it does grow, to something like, it sort of takes you back when you put something on now.
Yeah, awesome. We've we've got someone's name who I'm really sorry I can't pronounce. We've got um, just saying, how do I join you? You're actually commenting on the live link, so I'm a bit confused as to why you can't join us. But the link is on the post you're actually responding to. We've got Cheburn saying hi, Danny. Hello, Cheer mate, and hi. You saying hi, Angela as well. Thank you for
Hi.
joining. Right, moving on. How do these crystals work? I'm playing devil's advocate here. Isn't it just the placebo effect? How does it all work?
Well, I like to explain it one way, but I don't want to dismiss the placebo effect for a start. The placebo effect is absolutely amazing. Science dismisses it because they don't know what to do with it. They have experiments and it's like, what do we do? So they dismiss it. But in actual fact, they did an experiment with the placebo effect with surgery, where people got the surgery and they didn't get the surgery. And the surgery that they had nothing, the placebo effect was almost as good as the surgery where they did something. And that's because if you have something invasive like that, it makes you believe you're really going to have something big and healing. But you've got to remember, as far as crystals concerned, everything vibrates at a certain level. That's been proven. So we vibrate, crystals vibrate, even the soil vibrates, everything vibrates at different energies. So every crystal's got a 3D structure. Something like quartz is a great example. It emits energy so regularly that they use it in watches to set the time by. So there's no argument that crystals emit energy. And if you think about it, when you go into a room full of depressed people, and I'm sure you've done it at work sometimes, you start to become depressed yourself, don't you? Energy begets energy, and the bigger energy sort of overcomes your own. And it's the same with crystals. If you wear them in your aura, then you'll start to vibrate more similarly to the crystal than if you're not wearing it. So I think a lot of people have tried crystals and they've put it in the corner of the room and then it doesn't work and it's not really near enough to you. It'll help sort of the general energy of the house. But if you're wearing it, you will sort of slowly feel that your energies change. And what I love about crystals is sometimes they work really subtly. So they'll bring in energy. You won't feel the change, but suddenly you'll attract like a healing opportunity. It's not even the crystal itself. You may even attract some traditional medicine, a treatment from the NHS that wasn't available, and it will suddenly come and be offered to you. So it's quite multi-dimensional the way crystals and Reiki can work together.
You brought in some interesting points. What you said about the crystals, sorry, the quartz being used to timekeep on a watch to the,
Yeah.
accuracy within goodness knows, what millionths of a second or something. And
Yeah.
and as you say, going into work, if it's a nice sunny day, quite often you walk into work and everyone's singing and got a spring in their step. Conversely, if you walk in and it's raining and miserable, you can almost feel it and cut the atmosphere of the knife as you're walking around work. Everyone's sitting there.
Yeah.
That's a good point. So, I don't know. So, do you have to believe in them to work? Or do you think they'll do the thing anyway?
I think it helps personally to believe in it. I mean, why would you use something that doesn't? But having said that, I believe that. But I've had reviews where they've bought, people have come onto my website and they've bought stuff and then they've told me that they bought it because they thought it was a nice present, but then they couldn't believe the change. I mean, obviously, it's not a replacement for medical treatment, but somebody's mother was at the beginnings of dementia, and they bought fluorite because it's supposed to heal at DNA level. It's supposed to be really powerful fluorite, and they just bought it because it's pretty, and they liked the fact that it was like symbolic of sending a healing. But they wrote to me and said they never expected their mother to have improvement with this crystal, and they did. They were seeing little improvements in the memory and the behavior and not having the changes. And she didn't really know about the crystal and the Reiki healing or anything. And so I would say that's pretty good proof that you don't have to believe in crystals. You just have to give something to somebody, that's appropriate. And, it obviously helped.
That's an awesome example. Thank you. We're going to start taking questions. We've got some pre-written, you're polling your page the day, etc. And I was hoping that we get some people on live with questions, and they haven't disappointed. Yay! So first up, are you ready to start taking questions, Angela?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
First one comes from Kathy Shooter, and she's saying, which crystal would you recommend to boost self-confidence? By this, I mean having the confidence to trust my own intuition. Thank you for the question, Kathy.
Well, confidence is it's sort of quite a multi-leveled thing, and quite often our confidence is knocked by other people's energy and by other people's opinion of our energy. So a great crystal for that is black tourmaline, and it boosts confidence, but it's also really protective, and it stops other people's energies permeating you, and it also clears the negative energy. So it sort of works on a multifaceted level. And then you can always combine it with another crystal that will boost your intuition, like amethyst. And then the amethyst will, that's also protective as well. And that will boost your intuition. So helping you obviously gain confidence in it. And then the tourmaline will protect you from other people's influences and help you grow your own confidence as well.
That one's for you, Kathy. Do that. That'll give you something to think about, some solid suggestions. Just to to bring to mind, you've got, what, 13,000 plus and counting transactions on your Etsy store alone.
14 and a half now.
14,500. Yeah, I know last time on the show it was 13,000, and that wasn't that long ago either. And you obviously got your website, you've got your YouTube channel, which is wanting to grow now. You're on Instagram, you've got 10,000 followers, is that right?
Yes, 10,000 followers on Instagram now.
I remember
4.5 on Facebook, and just started the YouTube channel, so that's pitiful at the moment. But lots of good content on there, though.
Well, I've done my YouTube channel since 2016, and you've got nearly double the subscribers I've got already. So
it's really hard work, though.
yeah. So Kathy's saying, excellent, thanks, Angie. Thank you, Kathy. It's funny, I remember I've known you for quite a few years now. When we first met, I don't even think you had a photograph of yourself on your Facebook profile.
No.
And now you're looking flying.
Right.
So we've got Janie Louise. She's asking, can you advise me which crystals are best to wear to help with chronic pain and exhaustion, please? Oh, bless you if that's your situation, Janie. I don't know if that's
I'm so sorry to hear. Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear of your problems, Janie. With boosting energy and that type of thing, you want to go for like red crystals and yellow crystals. Boosting energy is, and also the thing is with my jewelry, because it's got the Reiki attunement as well, it's going to create that healing anyway in the background. So I'd recommend, if you do buy crystals, at least get them Reiki charged from wherever you get them. And the thing about the red crystals is you've got to, it's quite interesting with chronic pain, because it just causes your energy levels go down and down and down. So you've got to sort of be very mindful of what you're doing. So sort of self-care and self-love is very important in that. And the stone for that is rose quartz. And that helps to bring back the love into yourself. And it also opens up the heart chakra. And I always feel as though the heart chakra is where you get a lot of your healing energy that you can accept. Because the problem is when you're really down and exhausting, trying to accept energy in, it can be quite difficult. Sometimes you block it, not purposely, but because you're so down, you just sort of create like almost a wall. So I would recommend having a rose quartz pendant so that it's around your heart chakra to boost that. And the other thing is amethyst, because that is supposed to help with pain and relaxing, because it's a very calming stone. It's a protective stone. So you can actually, if you sort of, for instance, have an amethyst ring, then whenever you've got the pain, you can actually place it on, because you can move your hands. It's not in one part. You can place it over that part of the body where you're feeling pain. And if you're feeling pain all over your body, which she probably is, then you can just work your way down your body if you've got an amethyst ring on. And that's why I really like wearing rings, because you can move the energy wherever you want to.
Thank you, Angie. That one for you, Jenny. Please keep us in the loop, with how we get on. I hope that helps. Hope it gives you some pain relief, some inner calm with your chronic pain and exhaustion.
Also, I forgot to mention as well is I'm giving away free YouTube healings, which are on my website. So if she pops onto my website, then she can actually get a free healing. And I have got an amethyst healing on there. So
just so happens I prepared one earlier, empoweredcrystals.com.
Always prepared.
Get yourself some free healing. I'll whiz that website up as well before we finish the broadcast. That's not a problem. We've got Anne Millington in the house. She's saying, good morning. I managed to be here after all. Thanks for jumping on.
Brilliant.
We haven't actually covered your question yet. We're coming to that in a moment, so your timing is good. We've got some questions that we took from the groups in your page yesterday, I think it was. So, Anne Millington, right on cue. She would like to know which crystal would help her to be more in tune with her spiritual side. What do you make of that?
Right. When you're talking about like spiritual growth and intuition, you're talking about the higher chakras. So you want this one not to be like that. You want it to be open. The same with the third eye. So there's certain crystals that will help to do that. And one of them is apophyllite. And it's quite a rare stone. I do have a few pendants in my shop, and that literally just opens up the crown chakra, and it's great if you're wanting to try to tune in to get messages. So meditating with that is brilliant. The classic is amethyst, and that's for the third eye. You can use it as well with lapis, which is also, that's lapis lazuli is the full name. And if you place them on your third eye while you're meditating, so obviously you've got to lie down for that, it will open up the third eye, and then that starts to open you up to information. I always think with chakras, the higher chakras, these two, they are opening you up to spiritual growth, intuition, all that types of things, and then you're starting to get more worldly as you go down. So those are the three I would be working with if I was looking for spiritual growth and I was start at the beginning. I'd start with amethyst, the first one, when you're working, and then you can add other stones in.
Super. Anne Millington, that one was for you. Janie was saying, has said, thank you so much, Angela. So helpful and insightful.
Brilliant.
We've got another question, which I'll bring in a little bit later on, but we've got some more to cover from the groups first. And it's for a name I can't pronounce. I'm so sorry, but the surname is Nikki. So we'll come back to you. I won't forget your promise. We've got Sylvia Costa. She is asking, I'm trying to grow spiritually and connect more with the universe. I've been using lapis lazuli, I hope I pronounced that right, but would be good.
Yeah.
You can help me choose another crystal.
Right. Because again, it's sort of a similar process. We're going to be working with the crown chakra and the third eye chakra. And if you're looking to bring in messages, which I think she is, it's quite good because she's already using the amethyst and the lapis, which we've already said about. So it's quite good to bring in a third stone. And what you want to be doing is connecting with higher energies. And it's a stone which is quite expensive, but moldavite is amazing for connecting, because I know that she's quite interested in extraterrestrial connections, and this was formed when a meteorite hit Earth millions of years ago, and so you have a real extraterrestrial frequency of it, and so it's really high frequency, but it's not for everyone, moldavite. It is a bit of a brute of a stone, and it does tend to hurtle you along the spiritual growth path. So another thing which is another thing that's really gentle, and is really great for increasing your vibration so that you'll connect with higher frequency energies, because you don't want to be grabbing hold of any old spirit that comes across, and that's celestite. And celestite is really high frequency, it connects you to angelic energy. And of course, you can't get better than that, can you? And the angelic energy healing is this beautiful pale blue. And if you work with that, it's It's really powerful, and I think celestite is one of my top sellers in my shop. I sell several every week, because it's just such a beautiful stone, gentle energies, and it's one of those ones that builds. You won't feel the energy straight off, and then you'll work with it, and then you just suddenly think, oh, I'm starting to connect now. So this celestite, I think, is a beautiful one to bring into that mix.
So some top tips from Angela Richardson there of Empowered Crystals for Sylvia Costa. That one was for you. Next up, we have Jenny Stanton, our friend Jenny Stanton, who's she says, unfortunately, I'll be working when we were broadcasting live, but she's going to catch a replay. And she'd like to ask you what crystals I can work with to resolve a neck and shoulder problem. It's been going on for a few weeks now, and I've tried all sorts of things to fix it. Many thanks in advance. So, like a neck and shoulder issue.
My
Interesting. I've had a neck
classic.
and shoulder as well. Strange.
Oh, you'll all be healed then. A classic one for muscular pain is amethyst. But I'm getting the feeling with her just intuitively that she's got some like negativity, some stresses. And I've got a feeling it may even be to do with her work, maybe even negative people, but it might be just the workload, or there's something going on that's outside of herself. And selenite is marvelous for that. It is the most cleansing stone that you can get. Selenite is so cleansing, you can put other crystals on it to cleanse. You never have to cleanse it yourself. You can just use a wand to cleanse your area. And what I'm actually picking up a movement for her. And I don't know whether it'll help. I'm not a doctor. But if you put the crystal there and then you move your arm as far as you can and sort of try to move it back, I've got a feeling that will slowly help to release it, because the crystal will help to remove the energy. And I've always been told by my spirit guides that muscle memory is to do with stresses and external influences. And so you'll get stressed and you actually create a muscle memory, which you can, if you release the muscle memory, quite often the stress will release afterwards. So you can sort of do it the opposite way, to the way you heal sometimes. You can release that muscle memory. I have done it in healings before, and it has been quite successful. I've got a YouTube selenite healing one as well. So if she wants a free healing, there is a selenite one, and I've also got methods of how to use it on there as well. I've got a couple of videos on selenite because it's such a good stone.
Cheers. That one's for you, Dennis. Hope it helps. A couple of things I want to say. First is, obviously Jenny is a bit of a crystal expert herself, but sometimes you need someone, sort of who's not so close to get an overview for you, because you can't see the wood for the trees. So hopefully that's helped. And the second thing is that you working psychically on a live broadcast for the first time by any chance, Angela Richardson?
That is, yes.
Not that it's something I know you're very, very extremely capable of doing, because I've been the recipient of it many times over the years, gratefully. But it's so nice to see you doing it on a live stream. So kudos to you, and I'm sure it'll open doors for other things. And it's a part of myself I'm going to be shown to the wider world. Watch your space. We've got Birdie Brown. Hi, mate. Hi, mate. She's saying hi, Danny and Angela. So good to have you on the call. We've got Luana saying good morning. Good morning to you. I'm guessing it's early. You're in Canada or the States, certainly North America anyways. It's going to be got early where you are.
Can't sleep.
Yeah. One more question from the groups, and I'll circle back to Nikki. So this one is from Sue Ratley. She's saying, what crystals do you like? Sorry, I'll start again. What crystal do you like to work with the best, Angela? Is there a crystal that inspires you to create your pieces?
My utmost favorite is clear quartz. It's so powerful because it's clear. You can just program it to do anything you want. So, although it has got energies in its own right, it's a master healer and it's a balancer, but you can just use that stone to program it for anything. So, if you want to, it's not typically a money making stone, but you can program it to make money if you want. You can program it for abundance, manifestation. You can sit there and have that stone and work on it for specific things, or you can let it naturally do what it's supposed to do and just balance your body. And I'm always wearing clear quartz. I've got a form of it on today, so that's actually garden quartz, which has got inclusions in, but quartz is, yeah, it's an amazing stone. And the thing that I like about quartz is it looks so beautiful wire wrapped. I had a dream, I've said this before, about 20 years ago, before I even started the wire wrapping, where I saw a clear quartz crystal in a stream and it was all beautifully wire wrapped, but I didn't know what wire wrapping was then. And I just thought, oh, where can I get that? And I looked everywhere online, couldn't get it, forgot about it. And then 10 years later, I'm making them. So how bizarre is that?
Yeah. So that one's for you, Sue Ratley, for your question. And then we're going to, as a promise, circle back to, I'm so sorry, I can't pronounce your name. I'm not even going to try. She's seeing crystals that help with superego, not in the past or too much in the future, in the now. So can you get present with a crystal as something particularly useful or suitable for that?
Right. Well, anything to do with ego, you're talking about cleansing really your thought patterns, anything like that. And so you really want to be looking at sort of almost reprogramming it to a certain extent. So I'd be going for like ones that will clear your negativity, something like black tourmaline, selenite, because it will help to clear the thought patterns. And then you can start to, once you've cleansed the thought patterns, you can start to bring in stones that bring in positivity. Something like sunstone that brings in happiness, positivity, abundance, and stones that sort of increase your happiness. Clear quartz, again, as I say, you can program it to do anything. So you could even take a big clear quartz and sit there and program it for a couple of weeks. And then if you've got a wand, even, you can actually sort of use it as a laser point and point to bits that you feel are negative, because some people, they do feel the bits, the sticky bits in their aura quite often, but they don't know what to do about it. So you can actually, and that point to those bits with the clear quartz, and then that will help to reprogram you. But you've got to remember, once you've cleansed that negative energy, you've got to bring in the positive energy, because you can open yourself up to bring in all the negativity. So make sure you're bringing something that's going to bring in that positivity afterwards.
Nikki, that one is for you. Thank you for your question. We've got another one just came in from Birdie Brown. Bit of a theme going on here, so I suspect. Just seeing I have a frozen shoulder. Any advice? Well, that's another one, frozen shoulder.
Oh, that is, yes. The frozen shoulders are a bit of a hard one, aren't they? Um, Again, I'm picking up with her a lot of keyboard action. I don't know whether that's right, but there's some sort of repetitive energy movement that she's doing that's causing it. I don't know whether it's phone or something on the keyboard. And I always recommend amethyst for anything like that, because it's the it calms the muscles. With a frozen shoulder, you are going to be having to wear something sort of every day in your aura, because it's something that's long term and stubborn. What I've done with a frozen shoulder, and I've managed to solve it through it. There's exercises that I looked up on the internet, and obviously everybody's different, but experiment with them. And as I say, hold the crystal, whatever one you choose. I would suggest amethyst, but selenite is a good one if you feel as though you're being affected by negative energy around you. But the amethyst is the one that's going to work on the actual muscles, and do whatever exercises that you think, because it's going to be that lifting, that bit, isn't it? That's the frozen shoulder, and that bit you're really limited in what you do. So I think if you sort of slowly move it, we don't want to cause pain. You might find that you're slowly getting further and further, but there's something I'm just picking up, there's something she's repetitively doing that might be exacerbating that.
Okay, Bertie. I hope that helps, my friend. Thank you for the question. Is there a crystal, a specific crystal that can relate to abundance, Angela? That can help to, I don't know, bring in more abundance in your life? But when you
yes, I love using these. It's not. It's usually green crystals, and it's no coincidence that American money's green, and it's green crystals that are abundance. You get, as I say, you get a vibration with an energy, and that's including colours as well. So you're looking at peridot. That's really good for bringing in abundance, especially business success. Aventurine it's a much cheaper stone. So if you're wanting abundance, so you don't have much money at the time, aventurine's your stone, because you can work with it. I'm hoping to be doing like a little ritual on YouTube soon, where I actually do a spell on a video for abundance. So I'm hoping that I'm going to be showing people how to do it. But basically, it's going to be something like, this is what I normally do for myself. You can write on a piece of paper what you want. You have the stone there. You can add essential oils in, and herbs. And then you put the stone and your piece of paper that you've written all your intentions on, and you just burn the paper around the stone. And that is just so powerful, because all those intentions get absorbed by the energy of the power into that stone. It's a very easy way of programming stone without programming it, because programming stone can take weeks sometimes. So you can sort of do it in sort of like half an hour. Obviously use fireproof dish.
sounds like quite a ninja trick. I've heard different elements of those used individually, but never bringing those three elements together. That sounds quite
It's
in a good way.
something that I've done over the years myself, and I've sort of tweaked things so they work, and that's what I found has worked the best. So I always have some sort of crystals in my spells and rituals and that sort of thing, and they really do work, and that means you've got something to carry around with you all the time.
Cheers, Angela. You've got someone you clearly know. She's Tina Roche. She's saying you know me too well, so I won't ask you anything. But you are doing so well.
Oh, brilliant. Hi, Tina. She's my neighbour.
It's good to have you join us, Tina. Thank you for being here. I also want to ask you, is there a particular gem or crystal that can help with psychic protection?
Yes. The main one that everybody goes to is amethyst. But lapis lazuli is really good as well. I'm waving back. And lapis lazuli, it was basically so revered in ancient Egypt because it was just only royalty was allowed to wear it, and all the high priestess, which were the part of the royal, although they weren't royal themselves, they were part of the servants of the royal and did all their magic. It was reserved for the high priestess and magic, and it is such a powerful stone because it's got so much intention in that stone. It's got thousands of years of magic that was imbued into that vibration. So lapis is a really great one because it works to increase your psychic abilities, but it also helps to protect your psychic abilities. If you have already been attacked, then you start to need to go on to clearing. So you're starting to looking at selenite, tourmaline. Tourmaline, I find as an empath, is really good. It sort of creates a veil over you. So all those sort of stones sort of depend on when you're starting out, amethyst and lazuli. If it's too late and you've already sort of feel as though you're being attacked, then start the clearing stones.
How, I'm putting you on the spot here, but it just occurs to me to ask, how would you know what are typical signs that you're under psychic attack?
Basically, what happens to me is I'll be fine, and then suddenly your mood changes, and you'll be out in a room, or you'll be at home, and just suddenly your mood changes, and you can't get out of it. And you've got no medical problems, no history of depression or an anxiety, but you suddenly start to feel paranoid, anxious, depressed, and it's for no real reason. And that's when I start the clearing. And I found amazing technique from somebody who posts up on YouTube, and they actually will do like a pyramid, and they'll turn 365 degrees all around, and then they'll draw a pentagram and push it out, so you're pushing the energy back to the person. And it's not necessarily somebody who's intentionally psychic attack you. You can just be working with people and you've done something to upset them, and then just their energy is like, I don't like that person. Oh, they did that, and just them thinking that sometimes can cause that, especially if you're sort of sensitive to these things. And that's when I think you need to sort of be constantly aware of it and whether your feelings are your own feelings.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point to bring in. Quite often you can be under psychic attack, but it's just someone just having a visceral reaction to something you did or didn't do, or something you said that upset them. They're not, maliciously getting a voodoo doll and sticking pins in. So that's a really good
I
point.
think that's very
And I'm sure
rare.
we've
It
all,
used to be common.
it's worth pointing out we've been the people who's been having the visceral reaction to somebody who's causing them some emotional psychic upset as well. I think if you are being deliberately psychically attacked, it can last for quite a while. And I've been deliberately psychically attacked, and it was like a ritual, a chant going on and on and on in my mind, and I just couldn't get rid of it. And I could see the perpetrators doing it. It was deliberate and it was intentional, but that's a whole other story. So yeah, some great pointers there. Thank you, Angela. What else we got? Again, I don't know if you brought any of your beautiful handmade pieces to show everyone. If you have,
I have.
see them.
Right, I wanted to show you some of the things I've been talking about. So I've got a big pile here on the side, so I thought I'd choose what I've been talking about. So this is a little raw amethyst. I'm just going to be posting these up over the next couple of weeks. I've made a few of them up. I do them all in different wires, the silver, gold, that sort of thing. This is a brand new product. I haven't done them before, and these are hoop earrings, which are very trending at the moment, and I've wire wrapped stones on them. This has got aquamarine. I've done quite a few birthstones. This is the March birthstone. So they're really good for Christmas with the birthstones if you can't think of a present. And this is the apophyllite I was talking about, and this is what I actually often wear, and it's actually forms in that shape. It forms in a pyramid, and they just cut the top off, and that is the beauty that is apophyllite. and
Wow, beautiful.
and a few rings. Got to have a ring, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
So that's
Yes.
like a little amethyst. And of course I always have these on the website, which I always wear as well, which are the Celtic weave bracelets. I make these just purely from wire and stones. And this one, I had a period of bad luck. This is tiger's eye. So this is actually programmed up to bringing good luck and good energies into my life. So it's quite a protective stone and grounding stone as well.
And I always ask this question, well, can you give us a range of prices? I think you've got like three main tiers or levels of prices.
Yeah. So I've got like silver plated and hypoallergenic, which is surgical steel, and they start from £8 up to about 15, something like that. Then I've got the sterling silver range, and they start from 15 to most of them around the £20 mark, but they do go up to about 50 for larger stones and more expensive stones. And then I've got a few at the higher range, which is mainly Moldavite because it's so rare and expensive. And you're talking about £80, £70 for that sort of range. But I mean, they're all below the £100 mark. So I try to keep everything reasonable. I don't charge for the Reiki attunement. I just charge for my time for making the items and obviously the materials.
Yeah, the attunements side of things, the Reiki attunements, from what I can gather, certainly sets you apart from other people who are making handmade jewelry. You probably a better person to answer this question. Do there seem to be other people who are Reiki attuning their pieces? Would you know?
I've never seen Reiki attuned actually. I see Reiki charged, Reiki infused. I even sometimes put it as a tag in my social media post because nobody's heard of Reiki attuned jewelry. But I mean, obviously, with the Reiki charged and the Reiki infused, it wears off because you can only put so much Reiki into a piece. But with the Reiki attunement, then that crystal, because I'm using genuine crystals, they are sort of alive, you know, they're part of the earth and they will channel that energy for you like a human would as a healer. And it's intelligent healing. So what I often find and what I often get people telling me is they'll wear something and it'll suddenly heat up, and I'll say, well, that's because you need the healing at that point. You know, it knows, it sits there waiting. But if you're wearing it all the time, it'll sit there until you need it, and then it'll start heating up. Not everybody feels the heat, but I think a lot of people have felt the heat. Even my boyfriend's had a bracelet at one point, that because he trials out my new men's ranges because I like to see how durable stuff is, and he says this bracelet you've made me wear, it's heating up and it keeps on heating up. And I said, yeah, and that was a Moldavite. And I said, yeah, that's because it's Moldavite. It's really powerful. You know, it's like, sorry, just keep on wearing it. I don't know what he was doing to cause it.
It's great that you made it. That's hilarious. So does that mean that all self-cleaning as well once they're attuned? Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, what I do is I cleanse it with Reiki. I attune it to Reiki, but then I program it afterwards. And I program it with the cleansing Reiki symbol. I program it with a healing and a happiness angelic symbol. And then I also use the power Reiki symbol to seal it and empower everything that I've used on it.
So you've got all bases covered there by the sound of it. I know I've
Yeah.
had pieces delivered to my door from you, and they're beautifully packaged, and you can feel the energy coming off them when you open the box, and that you can see them made with love, and it's such a delight to receive in the post. I can certainly recommend you heading on over to empoweredcrystals.com, which is Angela's website. You're also on Etsy, you're on YouTube. Um, Tell us again about the free healing you're doing as well at the moment.
Right, on the website, my brother's created the website, so you actually have on the front page links to the YouTube latest videos. And what I'm doing is twice a month, I'm doing free Reiki healings. Twice a month, I'm doing energy crystal explanatory, I suppose. So it's how I'll choose a crystal or a group of crystals, and I'll explain how I use them. And then the next week, you'll get the free healing that goes with that crystal. So people have had really good response to those. And I've also just started to do crystal readings, which I'm just going to be going through the zodiac signs for the period of summer. So they'll be posted up over the next 2 weeks on YouTube. So you can get generally what crystals you need and what sort of areas that you may have to work on during that period.
Nice one. You're really branching out. It's such a delight to see. It really is. We've got Janie Louise saying so helpful. Thank you both. Thank you for joining us, Janie.
Thank you.
Anne Millington said a little while ago, thanks so much both. Just lost my stream and we'll catch you later. Oh, bless you. All right. Angela, as always, you've been a great guest on the show. You've given so much value. I've enjoyed hosting you. Thank you to all the viewers for popping on. If you're watching the replay, keep the comments coming. We'll circle back and respond. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye to you all. Take care.